Hi guys, welcome back to our channel Swipe to Learn. We are back with another video in the DBMS series, that is database models. We have n number of data models and we'll be seeing the top most used database models and its types, what are its advantages, disadvantages, and why we are jumping to new models. Let's get into the video. So if you see with a database model, what is database model? It defines the logical design and structure of the database, like how the database should access and how it should define the data, like how it should be stored, accessed, and updated in the database management system. This is what is database model. So here we have the top most used popular database models. Those are hierarchical model, network, entity relationship model, model, relationship relational model, object oriented model, NoSQL model, graph model. We'll be seeing about these 7 different types of database models in this video itself. So let's see with the first database model, that is hierarchical model. What is hierarchical model? Hierarchical, you know what is hierarchy? It's like it orders the data into a tree-like structure which consists of a single root that is called as the parent node and all its child nodes. It starts from the root or parent and we gonna expand the tree like child nodes. So a child has a single parent. Suppose if you see with the electronics is divided into television and portable. If you see with the television is again has its child as tube, LCD, and plasma, and whereas portable, like it has a tree-like structure, how you see with the tree data structure in the programming. Same way, this is how the hierarchical. If you see with the hierarchical model, it defines the real world relationships like index of a book, something like you have the title with its sub contents. If you go with the contents, the title will be there, one title, and you have 1.1, 1.2, and this in 1.2 you have 1.2.1. This is like how the hierarchical model is described. So IBM's information management system is used on this model. And what are its advantages or disadvantages? It has only one to many relationships, like one parent, one single parent to different child, one to many relationships. It's very easier to fetch the data, but it's less flexible because it doesn't support many to many relationships. So we are going for another model upgraded to something model which supports the many to many relationships. Let's move on. If you see with the network model is something, it's an extension to the hierarchical model. And this data is organized like a graph, like many, not a single parent node where it has child nodes. It has more relationship. And as data is more related, the accessing the data is also easier and fast. So as compared to the hierarchical model, here we also uses many to many relationships. Like a college consists of department, library, and the student access both department and library. So like many. So if you see with the college, it has CSE department and library, and for the college it also has students indirectly, right? So this is how the network model is used. If you go with the next model, that is the most common and most used model, that is entity relationship model. So what is an entity? Entity is something like an called as object, like the student is an entity, the course is an entity, like whatever things we name them, that is called as an entity. So ER model, it divides the objects of interest into entities and their characteristics. What student do? Student study. What teacher do? Teacher teach. These are all their characteristics. These characteristics are called as attributes, and whereas the objects are called as entity. So different entities possess the relationship. What is the relationship between the student and course? Student studies the course. Study is the relationship, right? So this and different entities possess different relationships, and ER models are used to represent the relationships in pictorial form. This is the most used model and very easy, and it as it's have a pictorial representation and for different stakeholders, whoever without the knowledge of this DBMS and programming, without the technical knowledge, these stakeholders can also be understand this very easily. Model. So advantages, these are easy to understand and design. We can represent the complex data structures also easily. As model, it's not something directly we implement in the database model. It's just designing the relational database model. Okay. Now this is the relation model. This relational model is next used model where the data is organized into tables, two-dimensional tables, that is rows and columns. Say serial number, name, age, data 1, 2, 3 goes on, right? So this model was introduced by EF Cod in 1970. Since then, it has been the most widely used database model. So we'll be seeing about the tables. These tables are known as relations in the relational model. So I told you it's a subject ID, what is the subject name, and who is the teacher who gonna teach it. This is in these are called as rows and these are called as columns. Advantages of relational model, it's very simple and easily. It's a popular database software. It supports SQL, like it supports the query language where we can retrieve and easily query the data. Now, the next used model is object oriented model. Like it's stored in the form of object. It's like a class. Like if you see with the class and what are its function, it's transport, it the functions are get speed and get fare. What are it's a combination of both object oriented data structures in the programming and a hierarchical model of tree structure, like where the transport is again classified as bus, ship, plane, etc. And these are all like objects. The same functionality of this transport get speed, get fare is individually used again by bus, ship, and plane. Like bus also have bus dot get speed off, bus dot get fare off, ship dot get speed off, ship dot get fare off. Same like how we use the object oriented programming and the data structures. Right. Now again we go with the NoSQL model. This NoSQL model, it's an unstructured style of d- storing the data. This is stored as documents. The documents is like more than looked as JSON and key value pairs. It provides the features like indexing and relationship between the data, and it provides the schema where we called it as a database schema, and it used to store the large volumes of the data, like you have ID, name, surname, and then the contact address, and this address is again reclassified as street, city, zip code, and country. Like this, it provides the indexing and relationships between the data. And the next model is the graph model. The graph database model is like used in most real world like relationship, like we use in the networking social media, like whatever Instagram, Facebook, everything uses this graph model. Data is represented using the nodes or entities like club, address, student. Student stays at this address, stays at is the relationship here. This is an edge. Relationships are called as edge. Nodes are connected with the edges. And then student is in the club, is in this particular club. This is a part of this graph model. Like we have different clubs. So it so all these models, database models, are like representation of the data. Instead of writing in theoretically, this student goes to this, he stays at this address. Instead of that, we use different representation. The same data can be represented in a relational model, or an object oriented model, or a graph model, or hierarchical model. Any model, you can use n number of models. With this, we come to an end of this 7 models. Let me come with a recap of all these models. Hierarchical model, where we have a tree like structure, and network model, same like it supports many to many, but the same with the difference with the hierarchical model. Model, where we have entity and attributes represented in a pictorial representations. And relational model, where the data is stored in the rows and columns. An object oriented model, same like an object oriented programming, where we use complex data structures, same by using its child uses the same functions of its parent class. NoSQL model, where the documents are stored and more of like JSON strings. And the graph model, where we have nodes and edges. Nodes are also called as entities, and edges are used to link up with them. Congratulations for learning this database models. Try seeing your real world data and try to represent in any one of this data model. If you have any queries, drop them in the comment box. We'll sure answer you. So thank you for watching. We'll be seeing in the next video. Thank you guys.